welcome back to the Creating Synergy podcast. My name is Daniel Franco, and today we have half of the most popular twins on Australian reality TV, Alisa Fraser. More commonly known as Alisa and Lysandra, the twins shot to fame when they first appeared on our TV screens in Channel 9's The Block Sky High in 2013. During their time on The Block, they proved very early on that they were a force to be reckoned with, eventually winning the series and taking out top prize on auction day, profiting a tidy $395,000. In 2014, they were asked to come back and star in The Block Fan vs. Favourites, and true to their natural style, they brought back their design flair and naturally entertaining personalities. The duos were eventually runners-up, however, still managed to take home over $600,000 in prize money. So prior to The Block, Alisa and her sister Lysandra had a successful career in the police force. But as their profile grew from strength to strength, they decided to hand in their badges to pursue their dream of becoming interior designers and created the business Alisa and Lysandra Interiors. The business then went from strength to strength even further, fueled by their 215,000 Instagram followers, and like all great entrepreneurs, they saw a gap in the market, leading them to create luxury home care brand AL.ive Body. They decided that launching in the heart of COVID 2020 lockdowns was a good idea. However, somehow it paid off in dividends, with the business just being 3 years old now, turning over approximately 20 million in revenue per year, and is gaining more and more momentum each day and could potentially become the next Australian business unicorn. So today, Alisa, CEO of AL.ive Body, shares with us her roller coaster story that's seen rapid growth fueled by many sleepless nights. It's a story of resilience and tenacity mixed with innovation, flair and elegance, not to mention a little bit of chaos. And if her business acumen wasn't impressive enough, Alisa has also been recognized for exceptional leadership and innovation, recently being awarded the First Amongst Equals award in the InDaily 40 Under 40 Awards. And they also took out the Smart Company 2023 Rising Star Award. So buckle up as we explore the life and insights of one of Australia's most dynamic entrepreneurs, Alisa Fraser. So welcome back to the Creating Synergy podcast. Today we have a human being by the name of Alisa Fraser. Did I get that right?
Got that right.
Well done. Welcome to the show. People may know Alisa as the sister of Lysandra, or the other way around. Lysandra is the sister of Alisa. But you guys, from police officers to two-time representation on the Block, the reality TV show The Block, where you won one of them and came second, the other one taking over home over, I think it was about 900,000 in winnings or something like that.
It was over $1 million.
Oh, over $1 million.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, just over $1 million. Yeah.
Fabulous. So then going on to starting your own interior design company, that morphed into AL.ive Body, which now I think has got the potential to become Australia's next unicorn. And recently, individually, you were awarded the First Among Equals in the InDaily 40 Under 40 Awards. Well done.
Oh, thank you.
Kudos on your career.
Oh, thanks.
Bit of a head wobble over there. I like to start the podcast really from well before anyone knew who Alisa was, or Alisa and Lysandra. So I would really like to dive back into your earliest context, understanding who the person was, your childhood, and the story of your childhood and how you came to be sitting here today.
So we grew up with a single mother who we didn't have anything to do with our father growing up.
Yep.
And
did he leave?
Yeah, it was always a bit of an unsaid thing, and Mum decided early on that she didn't want him in our lives because he'd had previous children and was in and out of their lives.
Okay.
So she made that decision early on to protect us from that, and chose not to get child support or have his involvement in that way, which looking back was the best thing she could have done. He tried to enter our lives later on in life.
When you became...
Yep, the day after we won The Block.
Okay.
That was certainly...
So you had not spoken to him up until then or before then? Or?
I'd reached out to him prior to getting onto The Block, prior to actually getting accepted onto The Block, because I knew we were going to get on. I just had this gut. My intuition in life is just... And I knew we were going to get on it, but I also knew that we were going to win, which is just weird. It's not an arrogance thing. It was just this intuition. And I remember knowing who he was and trying to find – he lived in WA at the time. I knew he was a real estate agent, and I tracked him down by his name and reached out to him, and I didn't hear anything back. I just kind of said, I'm getting older. I'd like to know a little bit more about you. And, I reached out and had nothing back from him. And the reason I reached out is because I knew we were going onto the block. I knew we were going to win, and I needed to know his intentions.
Yeah.
And Lysandra didn't have the same feeling that I had.
So you had no need for the connection to a father figure?
No.
Did your mother remarry?
She did later on when we were 16, but I think you just don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, okay.
And I mean, I think being girls as well is probably a little bit different. I think if we were boys, we may have felt it a little bit more.
I got 2 girls, and they're like,
daddy's.
Yeah, I'm like the closest thing.
Yeah. So anyway, a day after winning the block, I was on Sydney. We were in Sydney and walking along the beach, and got an email saying, "Oh, I'd love to connect." And I was like, delete.
Of course you would. Yeah.
Delete. And he's tried a few other times, but it's that ship sailed now.
Not interested.
No, not interested.
So what a remarkable human being your mother is, raising two beautiful young girls all the way through by herself.
Yeah, it was. Mum really didn't have much family support. No family support really.
So they weren't together. They weren't married.
No, it was like a bit of a accident.
Yeah, something that shouldn't have happened. Use protection
mistakes,
kids.
but we all make them.
Yeah. Well, it's a good mistake to make, right?
Yeah.
According to you.
Yeah. And so we grew up with Mum, and she didn't have much support. We didn't have much money growing up. We lived in public housing.
Yeah. Okay.
And Mum started her business when we were 2, and it was a secondhand baby store, new and secondhand. It was called New Mother's Cupboard on Marion Road.
Beautiful.
And she had that for 22 years, maybe even 23. And so we grew up in business. We grew up every weekend going garaging for baby needs, going to what's it called, Chaps Cross? The
markets there.
Yeah, Trash and Treasure. In the old day.
Yeah.
Trash and Treasure, and we would
have
our eyes peeled for baby stuff.
Spotting a bargain.
There's stuff over there, and then we would all carry it to the van and then start again. And we spent every weekend in the back of the shop, and
that's amazing.
It was.
There's an actual stat around that if your parents were involved in a business or an entrepreneur of their own right, then the child is, I think it's 90% more likely to become an entrepreneur or run their own business.
Doesn't surprise me at all. And at the time, it wasn't the funnest thing as a kid. We had to squash boxes, and it was. And who wants to be sitting in the back of a shop on a weekend? But it was what it was, and I think now in hindsight, I think it was the best thing that could have happened to us. But look, life certainly wasn't easy. It was, Mum worked her butt off, and I think our saving grace in all of, our childhood was the fact that we were just so involved in sport, and that was our life.
What sport?
We played netball initially, and then we went to Brighton High in the special volleyball program, and then got into that pretty competitively. And
there's another love of mine. I am a firm believer that those who have played sport have the ability. I just feel like
you learn so much
from leadership skills,
tenacity, to never giving up,
working hard, working as a team, setting goals.
Yep, for sure. Visualization, all of it. And then I actually, where I got good at my visualization was I played for Sassy volleyball and beach volleyball, and we did a lot of mental training in relation to how your mind works and visualizing.
Did you stay down at Henley Beach there, the Sassy?
Yes. Yeah, were they at Henley?
There was the Montefiore, I think it was not Montefiore. I can't remember the name. The
courts were down at behind off of Tapley's Hill Road somewhere. I forget the suburb.
I lived in Sassy for 3 months.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, doing what?
Well, it was cricket. I was playing cricket. Yeah. But so sport was a big thing. But Sassy, I felt, run a really great program.
Yeah, it was great.
And South Australian Sports Institute, for those who don't might know.
That's it. And then, guess we started working at a young age. I think we were 12 when we got our first job. We were volleyball umpires.
Oh, there you go. So your mum's business, when did that stop or start?
So we were 2, and I think, that went for 22 years or something.
Oh,
so
wow.
we were like 24.
Okay, so majority of your childhood.
Well, all of our childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other part you said earlier, which was we didn't get much support from the rest of the family. Why?
Look, mum has come from a very dysfunctional family.
Okay.
And doesn't have anything to do with.
Okay. Yeah. So she was quite literally on her own with her 2 children.
Yep. And she had twins on her own.
Yeah, I know.
I remember one time, like she said to us that, you know how kids are hard enough as it is, let alone with 2, let alone being by yourself. And there was just one time where she just wasn't coping, and she had to drive to the hospital because she didn't have anyone. And she said, "You need to take my babies before I do something stupid."
Oh, really?
And that's how bad it got. And that's how little help she had.
It can drive someone insane.
Yeah. So, yeah.
How old were you when that happened?
Oh, we would have been babies.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You know, when they don't stop crying.
Yeah, and you can't figure out.
Have any sleep.
No.
We probably woke each other up and.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's.
I know people gone through some pain with twins, and they've got a partner. So I couldn't imagine.
Oh, I can't imagine it. It's hard enough with your husband with one child.
Because you've got 2.
I've got 2 boys.
2 boys.
7 and 12.
7 and 12,
Yep.
and your sister's got.
She's got 2 boys too.
2 boys,
so
okay.
we now live next to each other.
Yeah, I know you built those.
And so
We'll
the
go into
cousins
that.
live next to each other, and they are 12 and 13, turning 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't you want to get away from?
11.
Do you like being close to your sister all the time, or working with her, living next to her?
You know what? Living next to each other is really good.
Yeah.
Like I went out for dinner last night with the husband, and
kids go over. Beautiful.
And the thing is, she just pops over and checks on them.
Oh.
So good. It's really good. Initially we were like, I think it's going to be good, but we're not in each other's face all the time.
No.
The kids play with each other. It's
because you built them together, those 2 houses, and you filmed it all on YouTube.
Yeah, the final series episode airs this week.
So it's design duo? Is that what it's called?
Twin versus twin. So we bought a block of land, subdivided it, exactly the same square meterage, but completely the same on the outside. Completely different on the inside. I went light and airy, and she went really dark and moody. And then each week, nice. We had to have a twin off, and then people get to vote who their favourite is.
Who's winning?
Me, just quiet. They've still got one. She can still come home with a draw.
That's brilliant. Does it get much viewership?
Yeah, it's had the series has been epic.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
and it's just on YouTube.
Yep, just on YouTube, but a full production. We're talking like $100,000 production.
Yeah, wow. What brought this on? Was it an idea someone floated?
We've done 3 of these.
Okay.
So we did a development back in 2018 where the idea for AL.ive Body actually came about, and we've done another client, one in Queensland, and then this one. So
with your own home.
Yeah.
Does it annoy you that people can see in your own home and what you've done?
Nah.
Does it annoy you?
Nah. We're interior designers. We used to sharing our work, and
you want them to see, don't you?
Yeah. It's been epic.
I dare say when you're on camera and it's your own home, the budget might have blown out a little bit.
Yes. But I just keep thinking about how much value we've added to the house, and that makes me feel better.
Yeah. You tell yourself whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's good. Right, so let's go back. You're getting jobs as volleyball, kids in volleyball, playing sport. Where do you go from? Like at some point, you decide I want to get into the police force. Tell us that story.
So Lysandra always wanted to join the police.
Why is that?
And I don't know. She just always wanted to.
Sense of justice, or
I don't know. I think it's just when you're like strong women, it's probably something that you gravitate towards.
And you.
She went off and did the whole travelling thing after school, which I really regret not doing. So she went to England and nannied, and then she went to Camp America, and I think I had a boyfriend at the stage, and I didn't do it. It's probably my biggest regret in life. And so then she did that, and I stayed home and worked, and I became a personal trainer. And then I was like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. What am I going to do? And I was like, oh, well, I'll just copy her.
Why not?
And then I tried out a few times, and actually back in the day when they, didn't need people, like it's changed a lot now. I think they just accept anyone, to be honest.
They need.
So
they're in a bit of trouble.
Yep.
In regards to recruitment.
Yep. Back in the day, it was hard to get in.
Yeah.
And
why do you think it's changed?
Well, it's changed. It's easier to get in because, why are people leaving?
Why do you think the narrative has changed about harder to get in, and it seems?
Well, I think probably the retention. They're not holding
Yeah.
They're not holding their staff.
Is the world a worse place than
no? It's all HR, isn't it? It's about how you make your.
So you're talking cultural.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Let's not go there.
No. It's a whole new. It's a whole rabbit hole.
Yeah, I could. Yep. We don't want to go down that path. But at the end of the day, if people are leaving, people have to ask the question, ask themselves why.
I think
spend more money on recruiting than you do actually keeping your staff happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and it's a hard job.
The other problem is that they can't recruit from interstate, right? Either. There's jurisdictions and stuff in there.
They can't do that, but then they're looking at recruiting from overseas again.
Okay.
But look, I think
how long were you a police officer?
7.5 years.
What rank did you get to?
Did we get to senior connie? No, we were qualified senior connie, but you have to be in the police for a certain amount of time before you get it.
Okay.
But we were qualified.
Did you enjoy your time there?
So we did for the first probably 3 years. Shift work can really take its toll on you, and it's not for everybody. And I just think systems and processes, and I reckon when you arrested someone, you had to write their name 30 times.
Yeah, wow.
And it felt like it was just becoming paperwork, and the enjoyment of the job did start to, it started to dissipate. And whether I'd still be there now if it wasn't for all of this, I'm not sure. But look, it's a good, secure job. I just think,
it's not for you.
It wasn't for us.
There would have been some really critical learnings that you took out of that, though.
100%, and I think I don't 100% don't regret our time in the police force. There's parts of me that definitely miss it. 100%. Okay. But it's the shift work takes its toll on you too. But yes, you learn so many life skills.
Yeah.
And I think as well, going on to the block, that's certainly helped us with
dealing with the shit.
Yeah, just dealing with stress, dealing with obviously shift work. You're up from crazy hours anyway, and just dealing with hard situations.
What is there anything that you remember from your time in the police force that you go?
Oh, you could write a book.
Yeah.
Honestly, the stories is just when I reflect back, it is such a diverse job. You never know what you're going. I guess the funniest part.
Give us one that you.
So Lasana and I worked together one night on night shift.
Yeah.
And because she was I think she was a floater after she'd had kids. She floated between teams.
Yeah. And
we got tasked to a noisy party.
Yeah.
And we rock up and the guy's like, "Who ordered the strippers?"
Oh no.
And we're like, "We're not." And they're like, "Oh, shit, you're not."
Twins.
We're not. We're not.
Twins dressed in police uniform.
Turn the music down. Don't make us come back.
Oh no.
That was pretty funny.
Oh, very good.
But I didn't really like working with her because I was I didn't want to have to worry about her in case we went to a job and
were you ever fearful of your own life in any?
Look, there were some times where it was a bit sketchy.
Yeah.
I remember there was a knife job and
different world.
You get spat on.
Oh, really?
Someone that's got what is it?
Yeah.
Hepatitis or something. And then you've got to go get testing and it was certainly.
It's a thankless job.
It's interesting, and I don't mean to turn anyone off.
No, I think
doing it.
I think,
but I think you just have to go in.
I'm of the belief that it's an absolute necessity, and we need more people to
100%.
think about that as their career, because without them, we're a much less safer.
100% we
place.
do, and I just that's why I go back to just that whole. You need to make it a nice place. No, it's not a nice. You know.
Yeah,
You're
The
arresting
culture
crooks.
need- yeah.
The culture.
You need.
That's what keeps people. That's what keeps bums
you
in
need to
seats.
attract people.
Yep.
To, yeah.
And I think I'm even more of the opinion now because I run a business.
Yeah.
And how important it is to keep your staff happy. Because to replace that person costs time and money,
without doubt.
and it's bad for culture. Obviously, if they're not performing, that's another story.
Correct.
But yeah.
So you mentioned earlier that you knew you were gonna. You applied for the block. You knew you were going to get in. What made you do it? Did you actually think at the time when you were doing the application, and who was the one that was?
We both did, because we sat down and watched the previous series, and they'd won a shit ton of money.
Yeah. Oh, so was the money that attracted you?
Money, but I was the massive block fan. I watched every single episode, every single series, and then I would go to bed going, I so would have done X, Y, and Z if I was them. And then I would
Do you know how many times my wife has tried to get me to apply for that thing?
Yeah, I bet. Do you know how many times I hear that?
Oh, and I just go, yeah, not for me. I don't think.
Say 40,000 people or something apply. Or
it's ridiculous.
something ridiculous.
What I don't actually believe my relationship with my wife would last if
it wouldn't. If I did it with my husband, we
say.
would 1,000% be divorced.
I agree. I just why would you want to put yourselves in that pressure cooker? It doesn't make sense.
Unless you want a divorce, go on the show, and that's
actually no. So where are we at then? So you apply, and how did why did you know?
Because I'm not psychic. That's it going a bit far, but I have a really strong intuition.
But yeah, so
and
you just got
knew. I had a
you
gut
nailed the video.
feeling. Nailed the video. I just knew it. Even down to the auction order we had to at the end lucky dip the auction order.
Yeah.
And whatever we needed one number. We needed, and there was 5 of us, and we needed to go first. And I said to Lysandra, no, let me do it. And I felt around, and I went to and from, and I took about a minute, and I felt the number 1 and picked it out, and it was number 1. Yeah, and that really dictated the whole process. We only won by $4,000, but we still won, and it was all because of the auction order. Well, our house was great, but it could have been a different story. Yeah, I can't explain it.
Yeah, wow. So,
but even still, I remember sitting at SAPOL in the intelligence section and sitting there going, I know this is not for me, and I know there's something better out there, better and bigger that's planned for my life. I just don't know what. And yeah.
That's your visualization. Do you did you ever think that it could turn into what it is now though? Did you ever think, we go on the blog, we'll make some money, open our own design studio, do this, do that? Or did you just go did you honestly think that you were going back to the police force after?
So we went in honestly, with no preconceived idea.
Yeah.
We went in on to win some money.
Yeah.
We didn't go on for the fame. We didn't go on as a lot of people do now, just thinking they're going to get something from it. It was literally, let's go on, let's have a really good time, give it our best. And then when we were on it, one of the judges said, you girls need to do this for a career.
Yeah.
And I was like, if Shayna is saying that, then she believes in us enough. And I've got this burning passion for design now that why not?
She's been a massive influence on you.
Yeah, she has. She really has.
Do you catch up with her regularly?
Yeah, we only saw her the other week we did a tour of the blog with our
very
Kingsman
good.
kitchen, and yeah.
Do you still watch it?
Yep. On and off. I'm so bloody busy these days that I used to sit down and watch it every night, but to be honest, I haven't watched it for probably a couple of weeks.
Only the ones that you're on.
Always watch them.
So reality TV has its secrets. Can you share anything? Is there anything in the background?
That's the thing. Like the block, we thought we would get on. We thought at least they're going to tell us where to shop. We're in Melbourne. We don't know our way around. They don't tell you what shops to shop at.
Oh, really?
No. We thought that they would feed us. We thought that there would be showers. We thought that they would actually somewhat look after us. None of that.
Oh, really?
No, now they get McDonald's and they get U-Foods and they get We had nothing. We went 7 days without showering and used baby wipes only. And our hair didn't even get greasy because there was so much sawdust in our hair and plaster. And we had to go down to the local aquatic centre and shower.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
7 days.
7 days. And we were literally working until 3 o'clock every single morning and up at 6 a.m. for 17 weeks. And then on the last day of the week, it was like 48 hours.
Yeah, wow.
It was not healthy.
But 7 days, that's it. Like, surely you're not feeling comfortable at all.
No.
Like
no.
But why couldn't you just go on night one and just go somewhere for a shower?
Because we didn't have any working showers.
Anywhere. No, but you can go to you went to the local
yeah. You don't have time.
You don't have time.
You do not have time. Lysandra lost 10 kilos. I went on probably too skinny anyway, and I lost 5 because there was no time to eat.
Oh, really?
It's just go. The last thing you have to do is worry about showering or eating.
How much sleep do you get?
3 hours a night.
Really? For 3 months?
And then when it was the room reveal, so you'd reveal every Sunday, you wouldn't sleep from Friday to Sunday. And then we would finish the room reveals. We'd have to go down to the park and do our end of week filming, and all of us would just be passed out on the lawn.
Wow.
But now they have to go and get their hair and makeup done. Like, we didn't get any of that.
No,
we didn't get fed. We didn't get free coffee. We didn't get hair and makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got called back to do the reality show. That doesn't sound like something appealing that I would want to go back and do again.
The second one.
The second one.
We did fans versus faves.
The fans versus
so they
faves,
brought 2 previous couples back, and we must have given them some good, you know.
You had the business running by then, though, didn't you?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No. So it was a 3-month break in between.
Oh, is that it?
3 months.
So, you spent all that time away from your family because you had the 2 kids at that time?
Yep. So they were really good in relation to letting us fly home. So like every 2 weeks we might fly home for a day to see them, and then the kids would come over to see us. The second series, my husband came over with the kids and they put them up at a hotel. He took time off of work.
Very good. Did you get paid to be on the show?
The first series, yes, you do, but the first time around it was minimal, and then the second time, because you're now classified as talent, because they've asked you to come back, it's decent. Yep.
Yeah, very good.
Yep.
So now like you're a celebrity and stuff.
A D grade, but yes.
When's the Dancing with the Stars?
I know Lysandra's killing to do Survivor. And I was like, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. Yeah. And I was like, no, I'm a celebrity, jam it up your ass. I would never do that.
SAS?
Oh, no, my body's too,
you just scream it,
screwed.
That's brilliant. So when did it was after the second show, Fan versus Fabes, that you saw, right? Yes. We actually need this.
So we actually had to hand in our badges because SAPOL wouldn't let us
go
again.
Yeah, wow.
Because there may have been some footage of us driving with timber illegally out of the car, and it probably wasn't a good look that we went back again.
No.
So that kind of forced our hand.
Yeah, okay.
So we handed in our badges prior so in between the blocks, Lysandra had gone back to do 1 shift.
Okay.
And then I was like, I can't. And then when we got the opportunity, she's like, no, we're going to take the jump and, go for it.
Yeah, wow. That must have been an exciting and yet scary time.
Yeah, it all happened so fast. I don't actually think we got the chance to really compute it, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, brilliant.
But just had to go with your gut. Like, it was an opportunity of a lifetime, and I think that's probably why we've worked so hard since, because we sacrificed a lot.
But 6 months of hard good, hard, solid work has earned you over $1 million. You
Exactly.
do it every day of the week.
Tax free as well.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's winnings, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, that's how many years.
And there's
of
your
work.
investment into your new business.
100%. Yeah.
So what does that look like taking off? You've got. It must have been, and granted, you've done 6 months excruciating work to get where you need to be.
Yep.
But in the meantime, Instagram followers go up, Facebook followers go up, all the above,
Instagram
right?
was only just starting to take off, and we're like, what is this thing? And we didn't utilize it as much as what we should have on the show. So we could have, But Facebook was
you got
massive.
over 200,000 odd followers now.
Yeah. So Facebook was massive at the time, and that was going off. I think we got like 260,000 or something on Facebook, which would just not happen now.
No. Does that still exist?
Facebook, yeah, it does. It actually does.
I don't go on.
Yeah, I know. I think it's the oldies.
Yeah, I know. I see my mum writing.
Yeah. They love it. The oldies love the old
here.
Facebook. We then finished the block. We started our interior design business, and we worked our asses off, like day in, day out for.
But you would have had clients almost straight away, right?
Yeah, we did. Like we were learning systems and processes, and
oh yeah. Did you have any idea? Your mum ran a business. Did you bring those ideas into the running of the business? Did you bring your mum in?
No,
leave her out.
Yeah. Don't work with family.
No.
Although except for his twin sister.
Yeah.
And then we did that for. Well, we've still got that business, but we did that for. When did we do our first design duo? 2018. So I think we ran that for about 7 years, and then we bought a property in Albert Park in Melbourne, and we developed that. Bought at the highest peak in the market and sold at the lowest. Yeah. So that kind of turned to shit and didn't turn out how it should have planned. But everything happens for a reason, because if that had have worked out, AL.ive would never have happened. So
tell us that story. How did AL.ive get born?
So AL.ive came about when we were at the end of that project wanting to style our bathrooms. And we're in Melbourne, which is, a great place for shopping.
Yep.
And I was like, we need to style these bathrooms, and I'm not using Aesop because everybody uses Aesop, and we need to use something else. And we went shopping, and we couldn't find anything
that you liked.
Literally couldn't find. Where we get that? That was a style, element in the bathroom as well as being functional. And so that project finished.
But I get that you couldn't find anything, but the thought process of why don't I design my own?
Well, it didn't come at that exact same time. So we'd sold the property, back at work, working on interior design, and I was sitting in the office, and it was Lysandra and our assistant Mia, and sitting in the office, and I just came out with, we should design a designer range with a palm olive or something, because there's nothing out there. And at the time, me and Lysandra weren't sure. There's a lot of soaps out there, and I was like, can I swear on this show?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah.
And so I worked by myself for 6 months and researched, and it was up until 3 o'clock every morning, sending 2 million emails, just learning, trying to find bottle suppliers, trying to find, come up with a design. And
so did you design that, or did you get someone else to design it?
We designed it. So
you learn all about design. What does research look like?
So I got on SketchUp, and which is a design program where you can do renders and things like that, and played around and got it to a point. Hired I don't know if this guy was an industrial designer at this point, but he printed a 3D printed version of what we'd come up with, and I've still got the prototype at work, and it's this plastic printed thing, and I was like, no, it needs shoulders on it. So then we built it out with Play-Doh and then spray painted it, and then went to a different industrial designer and said, like, create us this. What does this look like in an actual workable file?
Yeah. Meanwhile, your kid's missing his Play-Doh.
Yes.
So then from there, it was born. But
yeah.
like the pump, it's AL.ive Body's all around my house. I'm like, it's not the cheapest thing in the world. It's
No.
so
We're mastige, you're right.
no,
Makes you feel good using it though, doesn't it?
It is good. I was saying to Gabs earlier, our podcast manager, that I don't necessarily use the moisturizer,
The lotion
too much. The
Yep.
soap I do.
Yep.
I just don't know that my hands need the
Yeah,
the
but
lotion.
your body does. You need to moisturize your body.
Does it really? I don't.
Yes.
I would argue that.
100%.
I've never ever moisturised in
Yep.
my life, and I don't think I'm
Well,
dry.
well,
Maybe my humour.
Maybe your wife does after shaving her legs. You know,
No,
the
she
sun dries,
uh,
air conditioner dries your skin out. You need it.
My wife is moisturising all the time, but yeah, no, I do. It does. It just looks fantastic the way you.
And you can't have the wash without the lotion. So even if purely that lotion is for design aesthetics, it's serving a purpose.
Yeah.
Because that is what we have created.
Yeah.
We have created a decor item in your home, in your bathroom that can literally, you can add it into your space and it can transform your space literally just by adding one of our duos, because it's such a pop of colour, and it's like, obviously you've seen the look of it, and they interlock and they've got the tray, and it's a decor item.
The tray's the
home.
smartest thing in my eyes.
Yep.
Because
then they interlock.
It catches all the water.
Brilliant. It keeps them nice and tidy, and it's, yes, you said like it's a higher price point, but how much money do we spend on vases and flowers and candles, and it's the exact same.
You don't want to be a cheap product in that market. You're not attracting to that market. Right? So yeah, I absolutely love the product. I just when I comment about price, it's just
that's a male commenting about probably more of a female product. The husbands just don't ask questions. The wives just go out and buy it, and they just don't.
I think it looks fabulous, so I don't say anything. Yeah. I just like, yep. We'll leave that one there. So you're running AL.ive now, you're CEO, and your sister Lisandra's running the design.
Yeah, we got to a point where we were trying to do both and probably stepping on each other's toes a little bit. And we just had to have the honest conversation of interior design still needs to be run, and AL.ive Body needs to be run, and why don't we split? Divide and conquer, and we always come together on the important things in both businesses. Nothing's ever signed off without one another, and it's been great.
So AL.ive's got 20 odd people now, or is it the list?
22 or 23 now. I'm literally losing count, and then I have to now stop and pause and think, oh my god, their names. No, just joking. But it does. It gets to that point where it's like you've got all these names in your head, and like you get this blank, and you're like,
Is that so? It's the same 22 in the group. Is it a group, or is it the design team?
No, that's separate.
That's separate. Yeah. How many people?
1, 2, 4.
4. Okay, so all up
all up probably 26 or something. Yeah. So and that doesn't include warehouse staff or anything, because we 3PL.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the plans? What's the vision for AL.ive? Where are we going?
Yeah, so we launched that 3.5 years ago. We're now in over 700 stockists around Australia.
And all the big ones.
We're in Maya, Pillow Talk.
Beautiful.
Hopefully in a couple bigger ones soon, early next year. And
can you name names? That's all right.
Not yet, probably.
Okay.
But they're exciting, really exciting. And I guess the next thing is for us a few more category extensions, which we're in. We started off with our wash and lotion duos. We've now got a hair collection, a home fragrance collection, a baby collection, and a kitchen collection, and a cleaning collection. Brilliant. So, a lot of time and effort and money has been focused towards our product extension, our line extensions. And
new government grants come out now and all this stuff.
Oh,
did you see that?
The grants, do we?
New government grants.
Oh, please, the government give me nothing.
Got released yesterday. Manufacturing.
I don't believe it.
Aim towards manufacturing.
I don't believe it.
I got a notice in my email.
They only take from me. They never give me anything. Or if they do, they make it too hard.
I'll send you a report from Mr. Mulligan there. Okay. But so where are you going? Where are we taking it? Is it a worldwide venture?
It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be international. This brand has to go global.
Have you got investors or is it?
We don't have. We've got a friend who has a very small percentage of the business who bought in at the very beginning, but she's a completely silent partner. And that's it.
Okay, beautiful. And when you say it has to be, why do you mean that? Just because you're just not happy with where it is? As in being Australia only?
Oh, that's not who I am. It's not in my DNA.
No, 100. So it's the world is your oyster, right?
100%. It's got to be global domination.
Well, if you get into the US market, then you've built your unicorn, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think the US market is our first entry.
Okay.
You got to be careful in the US. It can sink you. And you've got to
copycats left, right, and center.
It's just a big beast, and all of the country is so different, and each state is like its own country, and you have to treat it like that. But
so where you're eyeing off first?
UK.
Oh, the UK.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we are in New Zealand, but we want to do New Zealand better. But that's an easy, compared to the UK or internationally. Probably, definitely some Asian countries, Canada.
Yep. Beautiful.
US is definitely on the list, but what number that looks like.
Cut your teeth in first.
Exactly. We've got to get really our systems and processes right before we tackle that beast.
Do you ever sit and pinch yourself?
When you have
time.
I don't really have time. You know when they say stop and smell the roses?
Yeah.
I don't. And this is it's probably when I do have a moment to stop and reflect. I think that's a bit of I'm not going to say it's sad or disappointing, but the fact that I am just so busy that I can't take it all in and it doesn't feel real and it doesn't actually feel – I don't understand
it's a whirlwind
magnitude of what's happening. I don't know if that's a bit of a just got to keep going mentality I wish I had more time. I'm very grateful, but I wish I had more time to actually appreciate it. But I think, and I think
that's just a choice, right?
I think anybody in business though can appreciate the fact that, even when you're turning 8 figures, it's not set in stone that your business is always going to be successful. So I don't want to stop and celebrate. Like, I don't know, when is the end? When do you go, my business is unsinkable and now I can stop and really just fucking celebrate? Because I'm always just like, well, it's not a sure thing. Even though we've had year on year growth of,
You and I have a very similar mentality. I reckon it comes from sport. Right, you win one premiership, it's like, cool.
What's the next?
And then what's the next? Let's get on to the next, right? And then let's go to states, let's go to nationals, let's do this, let's do that. The idea though is that you want to eventually not be working in the business and working on it, right? And that's when you'll notice your true growth. Is that something that you have plans for? I mean, because you talk about being busy, and you mentioned earlier to me off air, I've got 1 million odd emails and I need to go back and respond to. Surely that can't be what you signed up for.
No, it's not, because I'm so caught in the weeds. I really need to get an EA, but then I look at my emails. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to answer these anyway.
But they can.
Well, they can.
Someone can.
They can. I just need to. And obviously, I've built the team to be able to take on responsibility and take pressure off of me. But I also do all of the product development as well.
Yeah.
I've obviously got a team of graphic designers that really assist, and I've got a team of people in the business that help. But the ideas and the concepts are born out of my head. And I love that part of my job. That's the best part of my job. Being a CEO and running a business, hands down, one day that won't be me.
Yeah.
It'll be somebody else that has the time to dedicate to that. But right now, while the business is still so young, I need my finger on the pulse, and it feels right for me to be in that position.
Well, you're the face of the business, right?
Well, I think it's as well, like this whole business it's been an intuition. It was like the only way I can describe it is something jumping in my body and taking over my body. I've not done this before. I've never run a product-based business before. It's something has taken over my body. If I step back from that and let somebody else come in and take over, that's too risky at this point.
You're thinking all or nothing, right?
Yes.
So you're thinking, I'm just going to hand it over tomorrow.
Yes.
It happens over time.
Yes. And it already has. I mean, we just hired a GM for the first time in
Fabulous.
Well, the whole time she started 5 months ago. So I'm already handing over the people management side.
Because your mental health and well-being is going to be paramount for the success of this business.
100%.
Because you are the face, you are the thought leader, I guess. And so
I know I need to look after myself.
Yeah.
Just booked a trip to New York for my 40th with the husband in April next year. So I need to just start doing
I'm an April baby.
Are you?
What's your birthday? Okay.
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Just
well, I went like that.
You did cover your mouth.
They didn't see.
Yeah. Okay. So
you've got to be careful for security reasons these days. Someone will steal your identity.
Well, then I can't say mine because then. But
You're an Aries.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. But I'm not into the star signs.
Oh, aren't you?
Well. Are you?
Yeah.
Is this all?
Oh, Aries, no Aries. Aries get Aries.
And because it's a headstrong sort of stuff.
Aries are on the same page as one another for sure. It's 100%. I can pick Aries.
Yeah. Did you pick me? You did.
Well,
see,
I've been doing all the talking, I guess.
No, I don't
know. We've got this fire in us.
Yeah, I just thought it was the Italian in me. But no, you're right. I'm not big into that space, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
pretty headstrong people, the Aries.
Headstrong, loyal, like we're the kind of people that would do anything for anyone, but like fuck me over and you're dead to me.
You're dead to me. I'm interested in this topic of putting your trust in others. I honestly think for AL.ive Body to become a unicorn company and like you want it to be, you've got to play to your strengths. Mm-hmm. And if you're saying the admin is not your strength, like it's the same thing I think every sort of entrepreneur goes through is that this element of how much rope do I give, you know, how do I actually lead and manage, what's the best way to grow, what vision am I trying to set, there's all these different things as well as just doing the work, right, where everyone's trying to, when do you think the transition will look like for you?
Well, keeping in mind when I say, you know, I'm not handing things off. I've got heads of departments.
Oh, absolutely.
I've got the GM.
Oh, you wouldn't be where you are today if it was just you, right? Like
you
need your team.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answer to it. It goes through my mind all the time of what it looks like. We're always looking at structures and always planning for 2, 3, 4 years and what the org chart looks like.
Do you have a board?
We want to set one up early next year.
Like an advisory.
I'm looking into it now, 100%. That's the next step.
Yeah, great.
Get some, hopefully, you know, potentially a bit more seniority into the team as well. And I think that's really important. And I think because we've bootstrapped everything and we've started from, you know, zero to nothing all the way up to where we are now, it's also me changing my mentality of being a small business and like understanding what needs to be spent in order for a business our size. And that's quite hard when you've always been so over your cash and your spending. And I'm not extravagant. I don't spend money on stupid things just because it's successful.
I think we caught up, would have been what? Was that event the other week? 2 weeks ago? Yeah, a month ago, 2 months ago. Yeah. You had 18 people then and now you got 23, 24.
And this is what I'm saying.
It's
literally
at this level. You're not going to be a small business very much longer.
And we need a new office. We literally just signed a 3-year lease. Hope my landlord isn't listening. I don't think he is. Sorry, Con, block your ears. And thinking, this is us. This is us. Nah,
you're already spilling at the same.
Yeah. But
You have to split departments.
good problems to have, I
Yeah,
guess.
absolutely.
But it just all adds to. I think the bigger it gets, the more like shit. The bigger it gets, the more you have to lose, and that's how I feel. And it's at times it's, and I don't think anyone can understand it until they've been.
It's scary.
Until they've been there.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's scary.
It's not only money. It's
everything.
else. And because you're public facing.
It's everything. And not to mention, like, I have the weight of 22 staff on my shoulders. That's a big thing.
I agree. You know what someone said to me? I've said that because we got 20 other people in our team as well. They said, Dan, you're hiring professional people
that can get re-employed.
They'll be fine. Yeah.
I know.
I
know, but they love coming to work, and
I agree.
We've created this, they all get along so well. It's just a responsibility I think we have as,
I'm one of those people who I actually like the idea of failing fast, but I don't like the idea of completely failing. Did you know what I mean? Like, I'm happy to make the odd mistake here and there and fix it and move on and learn from it. But if I ultimately fail, then like it completely eats at me.
The good thing about that is over time I have really trusted in the fact that everything happens for a reason. And like I felt like we'd failed with our Albert Park project because we didn't sell what we needed. Like we made no money on it for 2 years of work. And
the
everything that happened for a reason. And now if something feels like it's not working or it hasn't gone to plan, I have this ability just to switch and go, something's teaching us a lesson. I'm not sure what it is right now, but it's happening for a reason. And that is massive. Like that's huge. That really helps you just not dwell on anything that hasn't worked and just go, all right, what next?
Very stoic of you.
Yeah, it's just something that it's obviously taken time. It's happened a lot of times. You fail, you get up, you fail. And each time you're just like, well, that happened. And then you learn to trust in the process.
And I think what the benefit is you start seeing the silver lining in things. You go, oh, well, actually I got that from it.
100%.
I would have paid how much to learn
100%.
Yeah. I'm an entrepreneur too, right? And I have a toxic trait. That toxic trait is seeing shiny things.
Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, my God. That is just the worst, isn't it? Oh.
So do you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You should see my notes. You should see that I've got an Asana list, and every time I think of something, it gets put on there. That would be a really good idea. Oh.
And it confuses the hell out of everyone.
It does. Yeah. It does, and it takes your attention off what's important. And I think I'm really trying to get see, I actually think it's a big call. I actually wonder if I've got ADHD.
I think to be an entrepreneur, you have to.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain I have got something in there.
And so I'm always like on, and I'm always like, it's just on like this. And that gets tiring. It really does get tiring. There are days where I'm like, fucking, I just want to lay in bed, have a day off, never have a day off. And because I know I'd come back to 500 emails.
But do you feel guilty when you have a day off?
I don't feel guilty. I feel anxious about what I have to come back to.
Yeah, okay.
But that day off is not worth it.
Yeah. I feel guilty like I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, so on the weekend it'll be like oh, this feels weird. I used to feel guilty. I did used to feel guilty. I know that feeling that you're talking about. But now it's like, just anxious.
I'm not doing anything right now that could be
doing something.
Moving the dial,
and that's the inability to switch off.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's not good.
It's
not good. And then so there are obviously a lot of advantages about being a business owner and running your own race, but there are also like I look at my staff, they get to go home. They get to talk about, going to the beach after work. And I mean, I've got a choice. I can do that. But I've also...
There's an end game for you.
Yeah, there's oh, look, who knows what that looks like.
What keeps you up at night then? Talking about the downsides of...
I mean, staff are always... Like our staff are amazing. But there's always like people, like it's just... people in general, like someone's got, some family issues going on or this person's not getting along with that person, and it doesn't happen often. Like, honestly, our team is bloody amazing.
Yep.
But when you got 22 people that are living different lives and have different personalities, and
100%.
like that's hard. I think obviously it's always going to be what happens if the market crashes. What happens if the US dollar, tanks. Like, it's all those little things to say, like, I know in my head.
But you just went through COVID where.
Yeah, but we also had hand wash and people were at home. So that was the actual best time to launch a business. So it was good for us coming out of COVID.
Like, you've just gone through what is probably the biggest issue in the world. Yeah. And you've actually benefited from it. Because
we did.
Cleaning your hands, I don't think is ever going to be something that goes away.
100%. Yeah.
It's how much people pay for it.
Well, I like to think we're in this nice little market.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
only stirring about. Like, you're a high quality brand. You have to be in that market.
But what I'm saying is, like, even when the market, even when cost of living increases, we're in this nice little market where people who use our products aren't those people that normally are affected by cost of living, and like, we've got this little niche, I think. Plus, as well, on the upside, like, when people do need to cut down on spending, whether it's designer clothes or what have you, they still like to treat themselves regardless. Yeah. And it's a nice little
No, it's wonderful. I wish you all the success with it. You would be getting some competition though, wouldn't you?
Oh, look.
As in people copying.
Yeah, even like last week I heard that somebody's bringing out, like, in the same industry, a personal care range.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When you say same industry.
Oh, like interior designer.
Okay. So someone known to the public.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was always going to happen. Yeah. People see it being a success, and then
it's not the person who gave you all that advice early on, is it?
No.
Oh, okay.
And I'm actually friends with this person. So it's fine. It's just competition.
Yeah.
And people are always it's always going to happen.
You're first to the market, right?
We're first in the market. And everybody has a different brand position. And at the end of the day, it's also about brand, and it's also about what your customers love about you and your company and your products. And so you can be worried about who's coming in behind you, or you can be focused on what you need to achieve and what your point of difference is. And I've always been a strong believer, like, people have tried to replicate our finishes and our colours and even our freaking bottle without the cutout.
Really?
And that was a celebrity as well. And you can get caught up on all, you wouldn't have even heard of it because it's brand. And I think people underestimate what it takes to actually create a brand.
What makes yours so strong? Like, what do you think is your
I just think our sense of knowing our purpose and knowing what we are to our customers and our community and our
So what is the purpose? It's eco-friendly purpose.
Yeah, it's eco-friendly. We created the brand so that it was a styling item within your home. We want to be in every room of the home, and it is a brand that, when you use it, makes you feel alive. And we also contribute to tree planting. We're doing a really exciting project with Woodlands next year. We've recently just done a project with them here around biodiversity. And it's got a purpose. And it's, I can't explain to you what we've created. It's literally born out of passion, and it's not just I'm going to slap a bottle together and try and sell it.
Yeah.
It's so much more than that.
Yeah, no, I believe it.
And our community is just so engaged.
It's great. You've done well.
Yeah.
And the name, to get your first names in there.
I was sitting on the beach one day writing names in the sand.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do I want? What do we want this to stand for? And I was like, let's plant a tree with every product sold. So when we launched, we planted a tree with every product sold, and to help keep the planet alive. How do you want people to feel when you use the product? You want them to feel alive. You want that, take that moment out of your busy day just to stop and breathe and feel alive. And then how do we intertwine Lysandra and I into the brand as well without it being obvious?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even know that.
Yeah.
Alisa and Lysandra.
AL.ive.
Yeah.
So I picked that up straight away.
Yeah, it's subtle.
But it's great.
And you know the best thing as well is like there are a lot of people out there that actually don't even know the brand is Lysandra and I's.
Yeah. Which is great.
Yeah. And
until they go on your Insta and then
until they get a thank you note from us. But that's really nice that the brand stands on its own.
On its own.
Yeah.
Has it been hard growing the brand out of Adelaide?
No.
No?
No.
Do you think just your online following is
Everyone thinks we live in Melbourne anyway.
Oh, really? You're there at half the time.
Well, no, it's just I think everyone like from the block just either assumes you're moving to Melbourne or Sydney to, start a professional career, and like that's where the big smoke is. But
yeah, absolutely.
No.
So earlier you mentioned that you didn't really enjoy the business side of things. This is a business podcast.
It's not that I don't enjoy the business side of things.
You enjoy the you enjoy the creative more so than
I don't look, people management, take it or leave it. I do it because it's an integral part of the business and you have to do it. Yeah. I love working with my team, like on projects and coming up with ideas and the creative side of working with my team.
Yeah.
But the day-to-day, like policies, procedures.
The management part.
So
you think you'd rather be the leader, not the manager?
Yeah. And that's why I got a general manager now.
Yeah.
But I mean, as a creative, you always want to be using your. I'm such a visionary, and you get your wings clipped a bit when you pile knee high in bloody paperwork.
It does not give you energy.
No,
which is telling you that you're playing in the wrong field if you're doing.
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Which is why you're trying to fix that.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you ever feel like sometimes you're an imposter though? Like you're building and you're growing this business and
then like who am I to and I think that I don't doubt myself much, but sometimes I'm like, fuck, this is getting bigger than me. I've grown this business to a multi-million-dollar business, and sometimes like the next level
feels like a house of cards.
Yep. And I'm like, I am an ex-copper.
Yeah. I know.
Like with no business training.
I know.
Like, what am I doing?
I know.
So yeah, I do.
I'm running again multi-million-dollar consulting firm, and I'm a guy that used to build houses. Yep. Right? Like I have. Yeah. It's strange.
Yeah. But I guess just goes to prove you don't need a uni degree. You don't need. I don't know if I reckon I have a bit of dyslexia. I'm not. I'm smart. I'm smart in a business sense.
It's intuition.
It's intuition, but I'm not academically smart. Like so bad at reading, writing. Well, not so bad at it, but I don't like. I'm not studious.
Yeah.
Is that the word?
Could be
studious. Studious.
Studious is isn't
student. Like when student. You know? See, there's that's exact. That's studious. That's a word.
I thought studious is like when you rock up on time.
Is it? Okay. So my exact point is that I'm not smart.
Neither am I.
I'm not good with words.
I could have got that completely wrong.
I'm pretty sure. Can someone Google that? Yeah, studious. It's like I'm not good at being a student. A student. Far out. I'm not good at being a student. I don't like study. I don't like essays. I don't. That's why I could never do uni. Yeah. I tried for a semester.
So you got no degree?
Nope.
No, I don't either.
No.
I do. I went back after, but I out of school just got straight into the. Yep. I drove a forklift when I was.
Yep.
Cricket.
And you know what? Sometimes on the job is better than.
Mate, I was concentrating on sport and I felt really sick, got chronic fatigue and needed a job and ended up on a forklift and just built my way up, got into sales and built my way up the ranks. But you're, I'm really interested in in the relationship between you and your sister as business partners, has there ever been a disagreement of some sort where you've, like every day,
We disagree all the time.
do you ever? I know there's this unconditional thing, and there's a bond between twins that is, But do you ever? And you said earlier, never get involved with. Do you ever? Is there ever been anything that you've gone, oh my God, I don't know how long I can work with my sister for?
Yeah, it was at that crossroad that I was talking about before when we decided I would stay at AL.ive Body and she would stay at interior design. Yep. That's probably the biggest moment that we've had.
Yeah, okay.
Where I was just like, dude, we're totally like, when you just disagree and you're just both pulling your hair out and you're like, can't you see my side? And no, I can't see your side. And you try and convince each other to see each other's side, and it doesn't work. And then you start to get frustrated. And so we were at that point.
Did she want to look after AL.ive Body? Or?
No, I think like what it was is us both wanting to be involved in each of the other businesses.
Yeah, okay.
And we couldn't give the time, effort into each of the businesses while we were both still trying to control both.
When you're splitting responsibilities.
Yeah, and that was the hard part.
I categorically say that it's one of the areas in which almost put this business that I run into, where me and my co-founder were.
Yep. And you weren't related?
No, we're not related.
Yeah, and that makes it even harder.
Well, we weren't. The problem with that, we love each other to bits and work really well together. We didn't have the roles and responsibilities defined. There was no one actually picking up the business and going, right, I'm going to run it and lead it. Mm-hmm. We have done that lately.
Yeah, you can't have two chefs.
Yeah.
Chefs.
Yeah, chefs, yeah.
Chefs. Yeah, you can't have two chefs. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't.
And so we've cleaned that up lately and Michelle.
And I think you're right. Once you're defining what you take control of and what that other person takes control of,
makes it so much.
Yeah, and I think that that's probably a good takeaway, is that if you are in that position or you're starting off and you go into business with your friends or your family and you all think it's going to be rosy, no, we don't need structure in place. We don't need agreements. We don't need contracts. Everything's going to be fine. Trust me. You get to a time where it won't be, and it will come to loggerheads. And if you don't do it right from the beginning, just set that up, then
I couldn't agree more.
There's trouble.
Spend the money, get it set up, dot the I's, cross the T's.
And be extremely honest with each other.
So you've done all this while raising a young family. You said your kids are 12 and 7.
Yeah.
There's 2 boys. What's their names?
Nate and Dash.
Nate and Dash. Cool names. How do you... I think this is a question I ask a lot of people, especially those who are CEOs or entrepreneurs, growing scale-ups, startups. How do you realize your visions, where we want to go, what we're trying to achieve, while at the same time trying to cultivate a loving and thriving family and relationships?
It's so hard. It's so bloody hard.
I can imagine.
It's so hard. A part of it is just trying not to beat myself up about not being there all the time. The other part of it is saying, all right, well, Monday to Friday, I work. I've come home and, we spend an hour or so together. Look, they're at the age now where they bloody don't want to,
playing Fortnite.
Yeah, they're for Fortnite, exactly, and bloody be on their PlayStation or be with their cousins. So that definitely helps. But, the weekends are certainly the family time. But my husband's actually still working. I won't say where he works, but that's tough. So at some point we're going to have to look at him.
Yeah. Joining the business?
No. No. Being a house husband.
Yeah.
Which,
no,
he's happy to do.
I could never work with my wife either. Not that I just...
Oh, there's too much work to do around the house for me to bloody employ him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, kids play sport. That's... Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's a partner in the business as well, I would assume, being through the trust the way it was.
Yeah, exactly. He reaps the rewards. And then he also has to put up with a grumpy, bitchy wife who's always tired and stressed out. So, yeah.
Do you get away much? Do you
travel? Yeah, we always just been back from Bali, and we go on lots of nice family holidays. And
do you structure that in regularly? Is it
no,
something?
it's a last minute thing
Yeah.
all the time. It's like literally Bali was like 2 weeks planning. We did do New York, but that's only because I wanted to be there for my 40th. And other than that, no, it's.
So, you and I both have a mutual contact, Joel Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
He told me that the moment he gets back, he organises.
Yes,
his
I know.
stuff.
Yes.
I hate people like that.
I know. We hate him. I know. He was telling me the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, don't talk to me.
But it makes sense, right? Because then it gives you actually something to work hard to. You go hard for that 3 months and then you're on your next break.
I think it's different as well. Like 3.5 years in business is still really young.
Yeah.
And with the rapid growth that we're having and forecasted to have, over the next 5 years.
Forecasted to have what over the next 5 years?
The growth.
Can you tell us?
Oh, like it has to be $100 million business.
Yeah.
In
That's
5
your
years.
ultimate goal.
Has to be. Yeah.
And is that, when you say has to be, is it because you've got your hands tied and it has to be? Or
no,
is that
it just has to
that's
be.
your ultimate goal?
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, don't say it has to be. Say it
will be.
It will be, yeah.
Well, it will be. So because I've got such strong visions and we are still young and we're through that really important growth stage, then I am probably in a different position to Joel. He's established.
Oh, yeah.
He's
he's done his
he's done what he's had to do. So until I get to that point, I don't think that I'll be one of those people that we have to have family holidays every year, but I'm not one of those people that just get back. It's like,
I think the switch off is important. Because we're going to hit burnout.
I'm like so nearly there.
Yeah. So the time is now for you to.
I know. I was actually just thinking about booking a 4-day retreat in the hinterlands in Queensland where there's like no technology. It's all healthy eating. It's meditation. It's visualization.
What, just for yourself?
Mm.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
If you find that, is there a location?
Yeah,
that you
there
know
is.
of? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm
looks
up for something.
amazing, but just to like zen and just really work out again what you want.
Well,
it's just having that time, isn't it?
I think you and I are both in the same sort of area of our career. You've probably got the 100 million. I don't have that number quite etched in my head, but there is a point where I've been getting tired. I mean, I use a lot of mentors. I speak to a lot of people on this show, so I'm very lucky in the fact that I've almost got 100 odd mentors. We don't have over 100 podcasts.
Yeah.
And one thing that keeps coming back to me time and time again is that thinking time is probably the most important thing. Yeah.
100%. And we know it.
Yeah.
We bloody know that.
No.
But do we actually do it?
No, it's a very
we don't.
Who's got time?
Who's got time?
That's the part that really stresses me out. It's like, I don't know when I'm going to fit this in, but I know I need to do it.
Yes.
It's like eating healthy.
Yep.
I know I need to eat healthy, but there's some chocolate there.
And it's easier to go out and get takeaway.
Yeah, correct. Uber Eats.
Uber
Eats is by far the best and worst thing.
I haven't been this fat in my life. I've literally have not been this,
Yeah, I'm just going on a health kick at the moment myself as well.
Yeah.
So do you don't thinking time haven't structured, but that's what you're saying, right? Even if you go away, I almost can certainly guarantee that if you go away North Queensland, hinterland, meditate, whatever you put those 4 days, you'll come up with a new design.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So why don't we do it more often?
I know. I know. Some people don't struggle with that type of thing.
I know.
Yeah, I know. There's so many things that I know I need to do better, but it's just one foot in front of the other, survival.
And you said it earlier, we're learning.
Yeah.
They've learned, we're learning.
Yeah. We're learning and
Now, we originally met, when was it? When was the 40 Under 40 Awards?
Oh, maybe 6 months ago?
6 months
I
ago.
don't know. Bloody, this year has gone the fastest year ever.
The more money you make, the faster the week.
Is that right? Okay.
That's why I'm going really slow. So 40 Under 40, congrats. You won the First Among Equals Award, which is the top gong.
Oh, I just couldn't believe it. I thought maybe I'd stand a chance with the female entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And then when that got taken up. I was like, I'm out. And there was not even 1 inch of like percent of me that was like, I've got this.
But why not? Like,
I don't know. You look at all those people up there, the 40 people up there, and they're like,
but they're all looking at you going 200,000 followers.
followers don't make you successful though.
But 8-figure business.
Yeah. I just didn't even think I would be in the running. So honestly, when they called my name, it was such a big shock.
Fabulous. Well, very, very well deserved.
Thank you.
How come your sister didn't put her name in the ring?
Okay, we've had fights over this.
Yeah.
Because I honestly thought that we couldn't apply together. We had applied the previous year.
Yeah.
As a duo. So like the questions are
there was a duo that got in.
I know. There was a question that was their questions are formatted of what's your position in the business? What's your and so we didn't even get a look in the year before. And then so I encouraged Lysandra to apply separately and she didn't have the time, so she didn't do it. And then at the end of it, we realised that we got told that we could have applied together. So she wasn't very happy with me that night.
Top gong, and your sister didn't even.
But I've learnt since. We've just been shortlisted for the Smart 50.
Oh, well done.
And that's together. God forbid I ever do that again.
Do you ever, because your houses are next door, yeah?
Yeah.
Just put the award on the window.
I'll put it in my office well and truly away. But you know what? She represented interior design. She just won the Polytech South Australia Design Award. So,
well done.
That's her.
No.
She does all of that. That's not me.
Look, your success is her success.
Absolutely.
Anyway, right? So
100%.
It doesn't really matter.
100%.
So for those who are looking to start their own and grow, and then you mentioned the Female Entrepreneur earlier award. Female entrepreneurship is one thing that is not as common as the male. I don't know the statistics. And
it's really low.
It's really low.
Really low.
And from my understanding, we've had the likes of Kelly from Edible Blooms and Tammy from My Budget and some amazing female entrepreneurs on the show. They've all said the same thing. It's really difficult. What's your advice to those, especially female, who are looking to build a brand as powerful as the one that you've created?
I think you have to listen to your intuition. You have to do what you want to do. Don't be forced to do something because someone's told you to do something. If it doesn't feel right in your gut, then don't do it. Nobody can tell you what your vision is. And plenty of people tried to tell me, the family tried to tell me, the market's saturated, or even the graphic designer that I used at the beginning, no, change the bottle like this. Do it this way. And I just held strong because it was my vision. None of you guys have got this vision in your head. So don't turn around and try and tell me how to.
It's my vision.
It's my vision. And I think that's probably like the biggest thing. If you've got your own vision, don't let people tell you you can't do it. Don't let somebody try and talk you out of it or do it a different way. Yeah. Stand strong. Don't feel like, just because you're new or you're a female or you can't put your foot down. And just surround yourself with like-minded people. I think that's what I'm starting to try and do more and more of, is just talking and meeting and taking every opportunity to learn and
Yeah. Do you you talk about your vision, and you have spoken about your vision throughout the podcast quite powerfully, and intuition. Do you ever get scared or fear the repercussion by saying something like, this will become $100 million business?
Nah.
And not miss.
No, because I know it will be.
It's so ingrained.
Yep.
in you.
I know it will be. I knew it would take off. Not once did I ever doubt that this would work. Not once.
So then why do you fear the market crashing and feel like
that's a good point. If I was truly that's your day-to-day responsibility of your rent and your workers and
Yeah.
But when you sit here, when you ask me and you tell me to sit here what it looks like in 5 years, I'm not thinking of that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of where this is going to be and what I know in my gut. And as well as that, and that's that's a good point, because I know everything will work out. I know that. So when I have these days where you're tired, something's gone wrong, you're exhausted, you're
human, right?
anxious, that's when that doubt creeps in. But when you step back from that and you're like, honestly, if you asked me, 100%, because I know it can be.
Yeah,
it's just, it has to be. It's so loved here in Australia. Why the hell wouldn't it be loved everywhere around? Obviously, different demographic and different taste, but it doesn't mean that in Japan, if they want a red bottle or whatever the color is in there, that we don't create it over there. You can change your products to suit your overseas market.
Yeah. No, I love your confidence in it, and I think it just keeps going back to the point is that you should be the visionary of your business and not the person that's sitting there getting worried and anxious about the day-to-day feedback conversation that you're going to have to give someone, right? Like that's the crux of it all. Do you think that without the block that the brand could have been as big as
it definitely could have been, but it would have taken longer.
Yeah,
100%. Might have taken twice.
Do you think
long.
it would have existed if it wasn't for the blog?
No.
I mean, because
no way.
Because that's where your ideas were born out of. The journey is the journey.
Yep, 100%. No way.
Yeah.
No.
So that decision on that application day is the most pivotal point in your life.
We even said on the audition tape, we're Alisa and Sandra, and we're going to be the winners of the blog 2013. That was our opening line.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What did they say to you when you actually made it on? Like, what did you do?
We were in our police uniforms.
Oh, yeah.
You got two twins in police uniforms. As if you're not going to get a look in.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, you play to your strengths,
We play, yeah.
But when they actually rang you and go, you're coming on the show.
Oh, yeah. No, we auditioned here in SA because they shortlist you.
Yeah, okay.
And I walked out of the audition. I was like, we've got this. And I was just like, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, we've got this. It wasn't a shadow of a doubt.
Did you take your badge off when you did? I mean, there's some things
Oh, no, you're just in uniform,
Yeah, so no guns on you.
No. Just at home. back to back with the whole hands together, blowing out a gun.
Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, Charlie's Angels style.
I'm conscious of your time. We won't take up too much talk. I think just closing thoughts before we get into some quick fire questions that we have at the end of the show. If you had to sort of encapsulate your entire journey into a single lesson or a message that someone who wants to start their own business could be, what is that single lesson or message that you would give them?
It's not easy. You have to work fucking hard, and you have to be prepared to outwork anybody. And that's where your true success will come from. And Sandra and I have been working our asses off for the last 11 years, every single day. And it doesn't happen overnight. Even with a reality TV show, winning Australia's #1 reality TV show, even with that. And too many people quit too soon.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to quit too soon, you're not cut out for it. Go work for somebody.
I love this quote that I can't remember who said it, to be honest. But it's the two hardest things in life. One is to start.
Yep.
The second is to not quit.
Yep.
And I was actually, when it comes to
100%.
the business side and I mean, even sport, it applies to everything, right? Yep. It's actually just getting up off your ass and doing something and doing it day in, day out and relentless. And I keep thinking about Have you ever seen, it was like a meme or something where there's someone digging and they're digging for gold? Have you seen it?
Is that the life and a day of an entrepreneur?
Well, I don't know I don't know the title of it, but they're digging for gold, like there's two people digging for gold actually side by side. One's digging, one's digging, and one gets about like a little bit short.
You know
the one I'm talking about?
Yeah. Well, if they just kept going,
if they just did a couple of more strikes of that,
they would have been there,
and they would have been 100%. There, but they gave up and walked away. And it's 100%. Like every time I get into that position of going, I've had enough here. You just go, and then the next day something pops up and you go, woohoo, like we're back 100%. On track.
And that goes back to the meme I was talking about, the day in the life of an entrepreneur, is like, oh my God, I'm winning, I'm killing it. Next minute it's like, holy, what's going on? And like there's like 20 different emotions in one day. It's such a roller coaster.
You can have the worst day and best day in the same day.
Our poor partners, like seriously, my husband has to put up with like 20 different personalities.
Yeah, right. My wife often says to me, he's like, who's coming home tonight?
I know. And you can see it actually. Yeah. It's probably not something I should laugh at, but you can see it when they open the door. How was your day? Like this is that pause.
Eggshells.
Sometimes you're like, oh, fuck, don't ask me. And he's like, ugh. And then it's like, oh, it was good. And he's like, like this. And he breathes a sigh of relief.
Crack open the wine. Oh. That's brilliant. What excites you about the future?
Just going internationally and yeah, that's my goal. That's what excites me. Obviously, having more time with the family. I'd love to buy acreage somewhere now that we've built near the beach. Now I want acreage just as an escape. Kids can have dirt bikes and just be back to nature. It's just simple things, right? Yeah. And I love nature, and that's that AL.ive was inspired by nature as well. So I think just living a bit of a slower pace, and it's funny, like the more successful you become and the more money you have, the more you actually realize it's the smaller things in life that bring you the most joy. Yeah. And I just shouted myself a new car, and we've just built these beautiful homes, and it's like none of it's made me happier.
No, it's fleeting.
It's fleeting, and it's just like I enjoy it, don't get me wrong, but it's like what makes me happy is being able to take a deep breath and go for a bushwalk with the family, or catching up with family and friends, and that's what truly makes my heart sing, and I want more of that.
I often say, like, my first job is being a basketball dad.
Yep.
And the second one is CEO of this company. The joy and love I have for just going and watch my kids play sport and just being with them is by far and away the one thing that I would want to do.
Yep. But it's a balance, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I could never be a fucking stay-at-home mum ever.
No.
And then I just couldn't. Like I'm doing, crazy hours now. It's a balance, isn't it? It's finding that right amount of time where you can fill your bucket up and still have time for yourself and your family, but still achieve your goals personally, because I think that's really important as well. Like,
without doubt, looking after your own health.
You have to look after yourself as well. It's not all about the kids, your husband and your workers and the business. You actually do have to have time for you. Yeah. That's when I get my massages and like I do that type of thing.
North Queensland.
Yeah. I haven't booked that yet, but
well, it's the leaky bucket scenario, right? Whereas if you've got the holes in the bucket plugged, the more water you put in, it fills your bucket, right? Whereas if there's the holes, you put as much water in it, not going to do anything.
Exactly right.
So I do believe you're right. What about you personally, outside of business, and the AL.ive Body and the everything else that you do with the block and still this day? What are your own personal aspirations and goals?
To travel the world.
Okay.
Yeah, I have this burning desire just to go and see the world.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd love to pull the kids out of school and do an American road trip and expose them to different cultures.
I'm thinking of Chevy Chase, the national anthem.
Looks something like that. That's what it looks like in my head. And traveling the world and acreage is what I like for myself and obviously for my family.
Yeah.
But that's where if I could paint a picture of what my life would like, how perfect I could make it, that's what it would be.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, if your business does go worldwide, then it's all tax deductible.
And I'm like, how can I claim my first class New York ticket trip in April? I'm sure I can now.
Or just organise a couple of business meetings.
Well, there is actually a couple I could go to, and I might just have to make
there's a conference over there.
the day. I'll put the day aside for it.
Absolutely. Rightio. Now we'll get into some quick fire questions before we finish off the podcast. We're big readers here.
I'm more of an ebook, and then I'm terrible at remembering titles. But I think probably the one that I've read recently, I've listened to a fair few. Rocket Fuel. Have you?
Rocket Fuel. I've been told about this. Yeah. No.
It's about integrators and it's about visionaries, and it's about what you need in your business to create the perfect business.
Okay.
So I am obviously the visionary, and there's only a certain percentage of us in the world, and there's only a certain percentage of integrators in the world. And when you connect, that's when the magic happens. But there's only like 6 or 7% of people that are proper integrators.
Okay.
And that's just about obviously your structure of your business and because I think before my GM, I was finding like really frustrating that I was a visionary and I had to be integrating and pulling everything together when naturally that's not where I sit.
Yeah.
That's
where your burnout comes from.
That's your burnout, especially if it's not your passion.
That's what I'm saying, because it's not your passion is the reason why you'll burn out. Because if you're passionate about something, you just, and then you get this pent up resentment towards it as well. And that's when you start hating it, and then that's when you give up
but that book, I felt like that was written for me.
Yeah, great. Rocket Fuel, beautiful.
Yeah.
Is there any other podcasts or?
I am subscribed to a lot of business podcasts. I like it's called Small Business, Small Marketing. Hang on, let me just open it up. How I Built This.
Oh yeah, I love How I Built This.
The Australian Business Podcast. Creating Synergy.
Look at that, right on the top.
The Financial Review, Straight Talk with Mark Burris, How I Made It.
Yeah. How I Made It's Financial Reviews, isn't it? Is that Financial Reviews?
That's Financial Reviews, yeah. The Frankie Lee, he's a UK podcaster. That's not too bad. The No Bullshit Leadership. Oh yeah, it's good because they're only like 10 minutes. The Mentor with Mark Burris.
Yeah, Mark's got some good stuff.
Yeah, he does. He gets good people.
Have you been
on
these shows?
No. And the Small Business Big Marketing Podcast. That was probably I was listening to that more prior to, getting a bit bigger in business. But I think as a startup, that one's good. And the Founder Podcast.
Oh yeah, good. You got Diary of the CEO there.
Yep.
That's that one there. That's a great podcast.
Yep.
But I'm surprised you haven't caught on to Alex and Motzi's stuff yet.
What's it called?
What's his podcast called? Hold on. We're live recording here and we're looking up podcast names. It's fine. It's all good. Because he's got, if I was you and you are building $100 million brand, I would listen to everything.
Stop it.
Alex Hamotzi. The
I
Game.
love this shit.
The Game is what it's called, by Alex Hamotzi. And he actually gives away all his stuff for free. He's got a book, and he's put both books live on, like free on Spotify that you can just listen to.
Is this him?
That's him.
Sweet, thank you.
He's massive on TikTok. He's massive on everything.
Wow.
He's huge.
Oh, I just love it. I'm obsessed.
He's $100 Million Leads is his new book, but $100 Million Offers is his first book. And he basically he's teaching you how to set up your offers and then how to get more leads to build $100 million business.
Okay.
So like it is.
So he has a book out.
He's got 2 books. He's got a podcast, but the books are free on the podcast. So you don't even have to. He just gives everything away free. But follow him on TikTok. Follow him everywhere.
Love it.
It's him and his wife Layla.
Yep.
Layla Hamotzi. She's fabulous as well. Essentially, they built a gym empire, and then now they actually invest in businesses. And but for someone like yourself who's 100 million, as your target, that's the title of the book. Yeah, $100 million offers. So.
Okay.
Right. Next question. This is a quick fire, and we've taken. What's one lesson that's taking you the longest to learn?
That just because you have the dedication and drive and certain qualities, it doesn't mean that everyone else is.
Oh yeah.
And I just don't get let down by people just because they don't meet your standards.
You know they never will.
You know.
Not especially not in your business. They're not going to have the passion that you have.
No.
That's hard to learn.
Yeah.
I agree. If you could have coffee with anyone, historical or current, who would it be?
Oh, God. Have to be someone business related, like Richard Branson or someone of that caliber.
Yeah.
Where their brain is just so...
Branson started a few brands.
Oh.
You get there to invest as well.
You give me all these ideas.
What's some of the best advice you've ever received?
I have received a lot.
Do you have a mentor or any mentors?
Yes, I'm a member of Behind Closed Doors. And I've got a mentor there. Yeah. The best advice, to concentrate on what you are doing and don't look back, because that's when you'll slow down.
Focus.
Yep.
What's one habit that holds you back the most?
Like procrastination, not procrastination, having 100 tabs open on the computer and wanting to do 100 tasks. The shiny thing, 100% the shiny thing, 100%.
What's your biggest pet peeve? Like, what pisses you off the most?
Fucking lazy people.
Not just lazy people, but fucking lazy.
Lazy people and like staff coming in late. I'm like really.
You're like a 9 to 5.
Because I was that growing up. Yeah. I worked my ass off at people's businesses. I went above and beyond. I just had a really high standard for myself. And I hold the same standards.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Do you think the policing has got something to do with that as well? Like the real regimented?
I just think that's my personality.
Okay.
Yep.
Don't go and start building a culture like the one that you didn't want to build, though.
What's that?
Well, you said there's a reason why people leave is because the culture.
Oh, yeah, I know. But the thing is, right, you set your expectations out. Everybody in your workforce knows what your expectations are, and then they're your non-negotiables, and they choose. They know what they are. Yeah, so okay. I'm not asking anything that I wouldn't ask of myself or that is unreasonable, they rock up, you know.
It's working.
Oh, it's working. None of them rock up late. None of them. But I'm just saying, like, even outside of that, it's laziness. It's people being sloppy or taking a shortcut just because no one's looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst. If you could pay someone to do one of your chores, which chore would it be?
Answer my emails.
Is that a chore?
Yeah, fucking oath it is.
What's one word that you absolutely hate?
I can't.
Yeah.
That's 2.
That's 2 words.
Can't.
Yeah. My parents, growing up, the number one thing that they drummed into my head more than anything else was there's no such word as can't.
Yep.
And so literally I live with that.
No, there's not.
What do you mean?
You can figure out anything.
Agreed. I think it's where the sense of optimism has always come in. It's like, what do you mean you can't do it?
No.
There's no such word as
You
can't.
can figure out anything. Anything. There's always a solution.
Agreed. What's the first thing what's the first thing you would do if you became invisible?
Invisible?
Yeah.
God, I wouldn't want to be a fly on the wall because I wouldn't. If people were talking about me, I wouldn't want to hear that. So I wouldn't want to just like listen in on people. If I could become invisible, oh God, there's got to be some kind of information that could like benefit me. I could like stand behind someone that had a computer open or had the magic answer.
The lottery numbers.
The lottery, something like that, or it's like secret, like squirrel business. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. What's the most useless talent that you have?
Look, I can't put my eyeballs out, or I'm not like double jointed, or I don't really have any.
Good at karaoke.
I don't really have any useless talents.
Every talent you have is useful. Yeah.
Exactly.
Nobody's perfect. I'm a nobody. And I don't know if you prepared this, but do you have a mum or a dad joke? Like, do you have a shit joke that you tell?
Oh, God. Nah, I'm not. I can't pull out these one-liners. I'll hear jokes and I'll be like, I'm going to remember that. I'm bad at telling them as well.
Next minute.
Yeah, no. No, I don't have any mum or dad jokes. I do love embarrassing my children, though.
In what sense?
Love you, sweetheart. Have a great day. Oh. Give me a kiss. Especially to my 12.
Mum, drop me off here.
My 12-year-old hates it.
Yeah.
So I do it more.
That's brilliant. Look, thank you so much for your time today, Alisa. It's been
pleasure.
It's been an amazing chat to you, and it's actually been fabulous. I watched the block in 2013, the one that you won. So it feels like I've been following your story all these years. It's quite surreal actually to be sitting here and being accepted in the 40 Under 40 awards with you as well, which was pretty cool. So. Yep. Kudos to you and your sister and all the great work you've done. Kudos to your mum for all the resilience that she had when she was raising you and all the hard work. So congrats.
Thank you.
And great work on the brands. Keep striving strong, and let's watch that $100 million business grow.
Bring it on. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Thanks for listening to the podcast all. You can check out the show notes if there was anything of interest to you and find out more about us at SynergyIQ.com.au. I am going to ask, though, if you did like the podcast, it would absolutely mean the world to me if you could subscribe, rate, and review. And if you didn't like it, that's all right too. There's no need to do anything. Take care, guys. All the best.